Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another episode of the First Class Podcast. I'm your host, Joey Bonsanti. Sitting across from me, as always, Tony Vegas. The mic is a little bit dusty, rusty. The head of your mic looks a little all weird, like it's been shoved in the corner for the past 2 months. But hey, we come in when it matters the most, right? Training camp starts today. Everyone's back on the field. Everyone's dapping up. Everyone's excited. Football's fucking back, man. Tony, how you doing? How you feeling in this in the end of July here as we head to
Oh my God. I mean, we had a nice run, Joey. I mean, like, I'm not complaining. Look at my shirt right now. The Knicks are fucking NBA champions. So, I mean, I didn't have a job during that entire duration. And it was one of the best couple months of my life. Unfortunately, I'm back in the real world now. And fortunately for us, football is fucking back. The Jets reported today. And I was sitting there at my desk today. People were talking about how they wish they could just fast forward to, the fall or September, week 1 or whatever. And I literally look up and I'm like, me too. I'm literally writing out a tweet defending Garrett Wilson's Madden overall rating to a bunch of strangers right now. And not a top 10 receiver in Madden. They have Terry McLaurin over him, which I think is crazy, but it's a conversation for a different day. I'm so excited to get back on the mic. Chris from Jersey, we're not stopping here, buddy. We are keeping on going. We'll get to your call later in the show, and looking forward to it, man. Let's let it rip.
Yeah, Chris, when he called, I was like, "Uh-oh!" Like, does he actually?
You texted me. You actually texted me. You're like, Chris left a message, and I'm like, let's fire it up next week.
Anyways, let's hop right into it. Obviously, Jets reported today. Everyone's reporting. I told you before the show, we're starting to see some scary injuries from other teams, from what you said. Doesn't really bother you much anymore. But what are your expectations heading into camp and throughout, I guess, the next few weeks leading up to the first preseason game from offense, defense, coaching? Like, obviously, last year in this training camp, there was a lot of buzz just because Aaron Glenn. Will we see hitting? Will we see, aggressiveness? Which we did. I thought it was a pretty different and good camp from the Jets last year. But what are you expecting in 2026 this year?
I don't know what to expect. I mean, it's funny because, we talk about the buzz and the new style that Aaron Glenn was bringing up. I mean, dude, it's a completely different coaching staff this year. It's Aaron Glenn is really the only, main factor that stayed, as well as, the receivers coach, whose name is Sean something. I think those are the only two that stayed. So, I mean, there are a couple things I'm going to be looking for, right? And it's going to be the usage of a couple of our rookies. I want to see how that wide receiver 2 battle actually shakes out. I mean, by everything that we've heard, it sounds like it's going to be A.D. Mitchell, playing that true wide receiver 2 role, with Omar Cooper maybe finding his position more in the slot, a bigger slot. I mean, he's 6 feet, and so he can probably play a little bit on the outside too. But that's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. And then Kenyon Sadiq, that has been like a lot of discourse on this, because we've never seen, a tight end for the Jets, with as high of a usage that we should be seeing with Kenyon Sadiq. I mean, athletic freak. How is Frank Reich going to get this guy the ball in open field? And, how is Mason Taylor's role going to be impacted by that? I think those are really the main things. I'm not really thinking about quarterback this year. We can talk about that however long we want to, either when Cade Klubnik comes in, they're in the middle of the season, or, camp next year with hopefully Drew Mestamaker, Arch Manning, or whoever wants to come here, Dante Moore, God forbid. I think Geno is going to be like, I don't know really what to expect. Is it going to be Seattle Geno? I don't know. Is it going to be Raiders Geno? I don't know. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. But we know we could throw the ball. Justin Fields couldn't throw the ball. So, I didn't even really touch on defense, Joey, but I'm sick and tired of beat reporters saying, oh, the defense looked good today. In my mind, that always just means the fucking offense looked bad.
Yeah,
especially when it's bad. So I want to see where they use these young pieces that Darren Muji gave this coaching staff, and see where they settle in. Are they going to make a big impact quickly, or are they going to take a little bit of time to develop? Because the opportunity is there, man. We need a slot receiver and we need a tight end. So
you touched on the offense. We didn't even plan for this, but I guess I'll kind of highlight a couple players that I'm looking for on the defense and what I'm hoping to see. My mind immediately goes to the linebacker room. There's question marks, right? There's DeMario, which you're hoping he gets another solid year and he's the rock. And then the guy who I really want to highlight is Jamien Sherwood, someone who I believe is going to bounce back this year and be the player that we saw that he was 2 years ago. That is what I truly believe. Am I going to be right? I guess that's up for debate. I know that a lot of people are down on him, but I'm looking at him, seeing if he has a really good training camp. And then the other person that I highlighted in my head was D'Angelo Pons and the corner room in general. And does Pons assert himself as the corner in that room? My big question is, will he primarily play the outside or the slot? I know there's been a lot of kind of back and forth. I wouldn't really say debate on where he's going to end up because I think he's pretty versatile in that sense. But I am really curious to see how they use him throughout the season. And are we looking at ourselves by, week 8 or 9 and saying, wow, D'Angelo Pons is the best corner on this team. And then Azareye'h Thomas as well. Like, can he fight for that spot? Can he be that bona fide number one? Obviously, we shouldn't be sitting here and what's his name? Freaking
Brandon Stevens, Nathan
Brandon
Wright.
Stevens. I almost said Brandon Thomas. Brandon Stevens. If he's our best shot, I'm not sure I'm feeling too great. So yes, like you said, defense is going to be a big emphasis this year. And can we get an interception in week 1? I'm not there yet. I just want to kind of make it through training camp and make it through the preseason games. But we are literally on the doorstep of actually watching some preseason games, which I know is always fun.
My
It's
God,
crazy. We are here.
It's wild. And, I like what you said about the corner room. I think it's an interesting room. Can AZ Thomas take that job from, I think we want him to be the corner 2. Brandon Stevens is just a veteran. He's going to start. He's getting paid the big bucks. Like, he's going to probably be that CB1 unless, Thomas or Pons really shows out. I kind of hope Pons plays on the outside. Call me crazy. I don't know, man. He looks like an absolute dog. And every time I see him either, in an interview or, I don't know, it's been coming up a lot on my Twitter feed, just like highlights of him. And it's giving me more and more exposure. He's kind of like up there. Like, I'm more excited about Pons than I am about like Omar Cooper. And
I'd agree.
I'm not going to say we haven't even talked about our number 2 overall pick, which is absolutely insane, right? I mean, got to be one of the lowest key guys. Like, he went on the mic today and, he's not wearing gloves. He's not wearing drip. He's just going to be his authentic self. I think in an ideal world, man, this guy just give me 8 sacks, David Bailey, and I'll be pretty pumped.
I think that's really fair too. And he probably is not talked about enough as a number 2 overall pick in a class where, I mean, any other class, he's probably not the number 2 overall pick. He probably is a top 10 pick in any draft. But
definitely,
I do love. I like. Call me crazy. I love the fact he has no drip. He's wearing the ugly 31 that people claim is ugly.
I think I want to get his jersey. I think that's going to be my jersey of the year.
I don't mind that pick, honestly. And there's a lot of good there's actually a lot of good options. I mean, I know a lot of people are enamored by the number 10 that Klubnik picked because of Pennington and stuff like that. And I am curious too. I know you said you don't really care about the quarterback position, but Klubnik is a kind of it's that wild card. Like, we're all throwing him away as like, if he can be our number 2, if he can be that would be ideal. And it probably won't work out that way. He'll probably be on another team in 3 or 4 years, but there's always that smidge of hope, that 1%, that 2%. What if he is the guy? Like, can you imagine? And that, I think, is just a fun hypothetical to play in your head and just have in the back of your mind, knowing that it's probably not going to happen, but there's always that sliver of a chance. So can Gino just stay healthy for us and feed our wide receivers the ball and just see what we got, and tight ends?
I thought about this way too much today, Cade Klubnik. I don't know why. I think he was buzzing in one of my text chats.
Week 2 of his job, thinking about Cade Klubnik.
Thinking about way too much about Cade Klubnik. I got to lock in, but I don't know. I hope he wins the QB2 job, just because I don't want to see. And I texted this today, and it was funny because Cooper Rush actually got signed by somebody today.
Atlanta,
because one of their fucking all their lefty quarterbacks are either injury prone or bad or both. And I'd rather Klubnik just be the quarterback too this year, dude. What do you have to lose? And I'm saying this as a fan. Aaron Glenn has a lot to lose if Geno Smith goes down and there's no viable option. So it's a little scary, but I mean, shit, dude. I would love to see Klubnik for 3 games this year. Like, let's just say we're out of it. We probably are. Guys, like, we can get it in. Maybe our next conversation should be refreshed expectations because
Let's do that.
we've had a lot of time to reflect, compare, what a true championship team is compared to, a rebuilding one like the Jets with that Knicks run. But, based off of what I'm expecting, I kind of want to see him, see if he looks the part and, still take a quarterback in 2027. They're taking a QB next year, no doubt. But can he be fun? Like, is it like a Tanner McKee situation maybe? Like, where he can just be like our long-term backup QB2 or maybe use him as trade bait? Is it like, I don't know. I would love for him to have a good 1 or 2 games this year. And who knows, dude? Like, the Eagles were asking a second rounder for Tanner McKee, which is wild. And I'm not sitting here and saying Cade Klubnik is going to be good by any means, but it's interesting at least. We know Geno Smith is 35 years old, 36 years old. I don't know what Cade Klubnik is. He could be terrible. He could be fucking Joe Montana. I have no idea.
He's a mystery box, and everyone just thinks about the 2024 season and the what ifs. Like, in the only circumstance I see the Jets not picking a quarterback next year is if Geno gets hurt in week 2 and Cade Klubnik is just balling out every single game and he's like the guy. But that's obviously probably not going to happen. So, yeah, I like how you brought up expectations, right? Like, we came on here and I did a solo episode about the schedule. I had him at 5 wins. I think you had him at 5 wins too, right?
Yeah.
So, that's in May. We fast forward, we're in August now almost. And I don't know. I'm about the same, and I'm not going to say we're going to run through the schedule, but just what we have to expect, especially in the first quarter and first half of the season, in like these 2 mini gauntlets that we face with the NFC North, and then you have the Bills, Chiefs, and Chargers in that like right before the bye. So there's a real chance, the Jets could be staring down the barrel of 2-3 wins at the bye, which would be a disaster. And then, on the flip side with Aaron Glenn and like him trying to save his job, he probably has to be sitting around 500 through 5 or 6 games, or maybe 1 game back of that 500 mark. I think personally, like if you had the gun to my head right now, I think this is probably going to go south pretty quick. Just as of today, I think it could. It's all fun to play the hypotheticals. And I think we mentioned this after the draft, and I bring it up all the time. It's almost like revisionist history. Like we almost forget what this team was last year. And just think about what happened this offseason where they were going to bring in Wink Martindale, and then all of a sudden the whole coaching staff just collapsed. And we brought it. This is a lot of new faces, a lot of new coaches. Thing just doesn't flip over like that. And I think that's where like the super optimistic Jets fan kind of gets to me, where I'm like, kind of take a step back, and we're 6-7 months removed from the season. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. From the season. And we just kind of all forget how this team played. They didn't have an interception last year. I know that they've addressed a lot of these needs on defense, but you also have to remember the head coach has proved nothing. And now he's calling defense. So on top of his already bad head coaching performance last year, he's now calling the defense. Yeah. So there's a lot more on his plate. And I think we have to really temper expectations. And if there's going to be the Jets are fucking shocking the league and they're 5-2, or that's not going to happen, 4-4 in the hunt, something went really right. Frank Reich is having a crazy ass fucking year as a guy who was 10 feet out the door. Aaron Glenn's calling a crazy defense. They're top 10. The offensive line is top 10. Like, all these things have to go right. It's just a lot. Sorry for the ramble. But
no, I mean, you're completely right. And it's scary because, I mean, if they have 2 or 3 wins, what week is the bye?
13. Let me pull up the schedule real quick. 12 or 13. Let me see.
I mean, if they're 2 or 3 wins at the bye, you gotta fire him. So that's Adam Gase. This is undoubtedly, and we're getting like really, really, pessimistic here. That's Adam Gase territory. He won 3 games last year. If you win 4 games this year, you have to beat that 5.5 over under. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know what we're doing here, right? You can't win 8 games in 2 seasons and keep your job. So the way I'm treating this year is just a complete, and it's sad because no NFL fan should feel like this, but yourself, myself, people that talk about the team and make content and have Twitter accounts and all this stuff, like we're used to this shit, right? Like it's just part of our lives. So I mean, it's I love going in and talking, to my buddy at the bar saying, "Oh, I think we win 8 games." All this. Dude, I really think this is going to be like a throw it away year. I do. And, will I be saying that after they spend $100 million this offseason or this next offseason with 3 more first round picks and a rookie quarterback? No, I'm going to be really, really excited on this microphone. And I don't know, like, is it Aaron Glenn at coach or is it Kevin O'Connell? Like that's a fucking different conversation. And I want to, you made such a good point about the whole coaching staff nonsense, because I almost completely forgot about it with the whole Wink Martindale and, all that stuff. I mean, let's just look at it objectively, right? You take a coaching staff, year one, they win 3 games. In that period, you basically overturn both coordinator positions in every single positional coaching position other than receivers. Aaron Glenn wanted to hire Wink Martindale. Ownership blocks Wink Martindale doesn't get the job because of ownership. They force Aaron Glenn to go against what he wanted to do and call the defense himself. And then he hires, Frank Reich, who has been out of football for a year and hasn't had a good, my point is, like, if this were the Cincinnati Bengals, Joey, what would you describe that situation as?
Disaster.
Sounds like a fucking disaster, doesn't it? It does. And, like you said, everything's going to have to go right if this were to work out. I mean,
work out is like 9 wins. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, 8 wins.
9 wins.
That's if they're going to save their job, everything needs to work out, and it's crazy. Gino needs to go Seattle mode and stay healthy. The offensive line, which I think is going to be really good, and the rookies are going to have to contribute way earlier than they might be ready to. They have a lot of new faces on both the coaching staff and on the personnel side in terms of players. It just doesn't feel like this usually works out, and I'm just going to be more excited next year. That's it.
I agree.
I just rambled on about basically 2 months of just sitting on this, and you really get to reflect, man. Like, we're not talking about how much of a shit show it was earlier, dude.
No,
they
and there was
everybody.
A lot of shit that happened, and it pisses me off. Quite frankly, someone said it. I forget who it was. I found the clip on YouTube, and it was just talking about how if the Jets win 6 or 7 games, yeah, I know. And, they were in it. Like, I'm so fucking over that. I'm so fucking over if they're in it, if they're fighting, if they lose by 1. No, dude. You put up or you shut up, or you're out. And I will tell you what, and we'll talk about this later down the road about, if this goes south, whose fault, like, does Muji stay? Does Glenn go? Whatever the case is. I want to circle back to what you said with the bye. The bye is week 13, right? And this is what I think makes it so critical that they win week 1 if you're Aaron Glenn. Because if you don't win week 1 against the Titans, which is by far the probably easiest one you have in the first 4 weeks, you got Packers, Lions, Bears. Let's say they lose to the Titans week 1, and then they lose the next 3. The season's over. You're in another one of these cycles where the season's already over before the month of October. And at that point, and it's going to sound crazy, and I got to credit Jake here, Jake Asman. He said this, and I almost am sick enough to be on board with it. I hope the Giants do well. I hope they fucking do well. And I hope Woody looks at himself and goes, God damn it, and goes to Mike Tomlin and says, here's whatever the hell you want. Bring me Mike Tomlin, get me the crazy offense, get me the quarterback, get me everything. And spend all the money. I don't care. Now I'm full on freaking out. Look what
I don't know about Mike Tomlin, which is crazy. Like,
no, but you want to know what Jake said in that same light is Jets need that floor raiser, man. Same way the
Thibodeau,
Knicks
right?
did it. The
That's the
Thibodeau
big,
example. It's a really good example. But I will say this. If you tell me KOC is having issues,
no, that's the
it's yes. Muji stays. They were roommates. You're on board.
They were
buddy.
roommates.
Yep.
No, that would need to be it. If there's a big time like offensive guy that would be down to, let's just say we get the fucking number 1 overall pick or something. It's crazy how this is just us. This is how our conversations go every time. This is just a recorded version. We had no plan going into today, by the way.
Yep, absolutely.
We're just like, let's just get on the mics. If there is a Kevin O'Connell, I'm trying to think who else who might be. I don't know.
Hell, let's just say all the Shanahan stuff coming out.
I was just gonna say, what if Shanahan loses and not like? What if this rocked them up and they fucking suck next year? He's on the market. Thank God he's okay. We're not saying anything about that. But I mean, they need to. In an ideal world, and I don't know who the hell I think I am, because if Mike Tomlin gets hired as the Jets head coach, you and me are both doing we are going out for beers and
we're out in the streets of Stanford holding hands and fucking
we'll be
doing
skipping down Bedford Street in Stanford. Exactly. But it's interesting. I mean, again, let's focus on what's in front of us because unfortunately we have another year to endure this. And you know what? This is the first time my expectations are this low. It's like last year, even I was just like, I don't know what to expect from Glenn. I don't know who this Tanner Engstrand guy is. I would assume the defense is going to be good because Aaron Glenn's going to bring in his guys. It's a Detroit type deal. I had no idea what to expect, and maybe Justin Fields can turn it around. This year, it's so different, and it's just because, like, imagine you had a CEO of a company that fired everybody but himself. How would you feel about that company?
That's a good way to put it.
And you have a chairman and a CEO. We like the chairman, but the CEO we're very iffy on. He fires everybody and brings in an entire new staff. I know this.
They're not the same old Jets.
I'm not investing in the company. It's just not going to happen. So that's where I'm at with the team right now. It sucks. I wish I could get on here and be all excited. From a roster standpoint, Joey, though, I am pretty excited. I am. Like, we're making the right moves, no doubt. Right? I love the draft. I did like some of the veteran signings. Make this locker room, a little bit more respectable. We don't want a young quarterback coming into like a fucking jungle gym locker room that full of a bunch of like 23-year-olds that have never won a football game in their life. And, having DeMario Davis here, having Onimata, Geno Smith even, like, at the very least, it'll be a little bit more of a mature environment for some of these younger guys. We want to develop Kenny Sadiq. Like, there are a lot of doomers on Jets Twitter that are like, I don't want to win a fucking game. And it's like, well, that means that Sadiq made no impact. David Bailey made no impact. Omar Cooper made it. Like, Garrett Wilson had a bad year. He's probably pissed. And that's not good for business. No. We have so many first-round picks. We can root for them to win. It's allowed. We're okay. They'll get a QB.
Fans, right? Like I'll tell you this, week 1, dude, I'm rooting for them. Like, I'm rooting for them.
Of course.
I'm rooting for them week 2,
shame
3.
on you. I'm sorry.
I agree. You should not be rooting for dude, you look at the past and it's like every year it resets, right? And I look back at all these bad teams we've had. When July approaches and we get into that August month, I'm excited every time. I'm excited every damn time to watch this team. And it doesn't matter the players. It doesn't matter if it's 2020 Jets. Dude, I'm excited. Like, it's a sickness for sure, but it goes to show you that when on the other side, when the grass is greener, which we've never seen it. It's been a long time since we've seen it. We were children when we saw the grass was green. When we get to that point, it's just going to be amazing. It's going to be so fulfilling. And this is why you stick around. And it doesn't matter. We love watching this team, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Every game we watch. And man, I'm just hoping that they give us something to root for in the first. Like, I'm rooting for Aaron Glenn. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I hope Geno Smith throws for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns and the Jets make some crazy run towards the playoffs. I don't know. Like, just prove me wrong. Shut us up. Like, and if you don't, then you go back to the bottom of the barrel. Glenn gets fired, and we have that conversation. But
it's kind of a win-win, which is crazy.
It is.
All we do is lose, but it's kind of a win-win. If it's bottom of the barrel, maybe you don't have to give up like a fucking king's ransom to go and get your QB. Maybe you can just get him organically with all these picks. And one way, if they shock the world and they win 8 games, who knows where the Colts are going to finish? Who knows where our pick's going to finish? Who knows where the Cowboys Packers pick is going to, like, maybe somebody gets hurt on the Packers and, you know, like they really bottom out and we get their, you never know. So I think in a vacuum, we can't really lose. It would suck to, you know, obviously root for a tank again, but there's more than one QB this year. It's not like last year I was freaking out. Like I was like, how the fuck are we going to get the first pick? How do we get Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore? And, you know, obviously we got fucked on that, but you know, it's going to be interesting. And let's just root for wins, man. Going to that Jets Steelers game last year and like rooting for the W. They didn't pull it out, but goddamn, I had like a lot of fun going, rooting with my friends. Like it'll all work itself out. And if it doesn't, we're not like, is it new to us? Are you like,
yeah. I mean, we've made it this far,
man. We
made it this far. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a crazy rant. This is I knew this was going to happen where we just kind of go off tangent and speak out. But it's been a while since we've gotten on the mic and talked about this team. So
yeah,
it's soon enough we're going to have, you know, scrimmages and preseason games to see what happened. And before you know it, it's going to be week 1, which is truly insane. It's just this year's flying by. But did you have anything else you wanted to get into before I let Chris from Jersey take the floor?
I think we let Chris take the floor, man. I'm sure we'll go off on some other tangent based on this question.
Riverside, they changed the format, so just give me a thumbs up or down if you can hear it.
What's up, guys? Chris, Jersey. Hope you guys aren't done with the pod. Just hope it's a long break up until training camp starts. I wish I had a training camp question. If we know Muji, he's willing to pull the plug early. He's looking to get a return on assets. Let's say the season doesn't go well. They start 2-5, something like that. Who do you think the most likely players are who could be dealt at this trade deadline? I know that's kind of pessimistic before the season. Hope the pod's still going. Have a good night, boys.
It's a good question.
We are indeed still here.
Yeah, don't you dare say who I think. Both of our heads probably went to one guy.
You could go. That's fine.
It's not going to be him. It's not Garrett.
I don't think
No, you need Garrett for the quarterback next year.
Garrett ain't
Ozzie
going.
Smith. No, I'm kidding.
Ozzie Smith. I'm trying to think. I mean,
Minka. Maybe Minka Fitzpatrick. You flip him. They just signed him though. I don't even know if that's allowed.
Yeah, they could. I mean, if they get 5-6 games and he's having like a resurgent year and the Jets are 1-5, like sure.
Maybe. We don't have any big name guys to like get like a. We traded both of them. It was Sauce and Quinnen.
I mean, here's one that I could maybe see. Like maybe they go Will McDonald. I don't know. Maybe they.
Okay, that's a fair point.
He was looking jacked today, by the way. Put on some pounds.
But he's due for an extension too. Like,
yeah, it's coming up, right? Like they just extended Brees. Like, would they do that? Probably not.
I was gonna say Brees. Brees was another guy.
That's where my mind went, but I'm like, then again, they just proved to us last year that they'll trade someone who they just extended. Other than that, though, like there's a lot of young guys on the defense. Like maybe some of the new guys on, maybe like Harrison Phillips. I don't know.
I would hate that. He should be a captain on the team. I really feel like they like plucked all the value that they really could have. Like you're not trading Juwan Briggs. You're extending Juwan Briggs. He's been awesome.
I agree. I love
you know, Phillips, no, like all these new guys are just like 1-year deals. Like maybe one of them gets flipped at the deadline for it's going to be like a 6th, 7th pick. Yeah, there it is. I just don't, is it crazy to say you're not trading any rookies? That makes sense.
No.
There's no mid young / like, what word am I looking for? Mid-20s, like 25-year-old guy that we have that can fetch us like big assets other than Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson's going to play like a critical role in the future of the franchise, even at 27 years old. He's going to be, whoever's wide receiver one, and he's going to, he'll be here until he's 30, I think.
Yeah, like I think outside of the names you mentioned, like maybe like, and I think like with Minka, like could DeMario be in that conversation if he's playing like his ass off and he wants to go to like the Chiefs or whoever the hell to win a Super Bowl? Maybe. I just think it's the older guys, the Phillips, the DeMarios, the Minkas, like the guys that we talked. Maybe Brees would be in that conversation because he's a running back. But the offensive line's pretty buttoned up. Like they just extended Tittman, you got Olu, you got Membu. Like those guys aren't going anywhere. So
yeah.
Chris had a follow-up voicemail, by the way. So.
What's up, guys? Chris, Jersey. Didn't really like my question yesterday. Came on with a question. I'm going to try and double dip here. Week 1, who would you expect to have the bigger role? Would it be Omar Cooper or Kenyon Sadiq? Maybe you could answer as well. Who would you be least surprised if they had a big game? Like if they went for 100 yards and a touchdown, who would you be least surprised to see that from? It's kind of the same thing. All right, I'll hang up. Have a good day, boys.
I mean, I have my answer for the first part.
Yeah, you're right.
I think Omar is going to be the guy who gets involved a little bit quicker than Kenyon Sadiq, in my opinion. I think it's going to take a little bit for the offense to kind of ramp him up. I think Omar is good for he's kind of like, I envision him as the safety blanket for Geno. I feel like he's that surefire hand type guy. He's going to bring in like four catches, 56 yards, maybe a touchdown. So I like him to get involved a little bit quicker in the beginning process. And then I hope Sadiq really turns it up past the first quarter and into the end of the season. Do you have the same thought process there? Or no?
No, I think they're similar players, dude. It's kind of crazy. Go and watch. I saw a clip, and I'll retweet it for anybody listening. It's like 158 seconds, or whatever, of Omar Cooper being hard to tackle, and dude, he is like, I was like, this looks like Deebo Samuel, like in the NFL. Obviously, this is college ball, so it's different, and you kind of expect Sadiq to kind of be like pretty similar, dude. I mean, guy runs like a 4.4. He's 6'3", 260. I wouldn't want to tackle that. I don't know about you. And I just think he offers a little bit more of that like vertical down the seam threat that Omar Cooper might not early on. But it all depends really on who Geno kind of trusts early on. And that's up to him, not to us. But I just think it's going to be so fascinating to see the snap splits. It's like the first time ever we have like a lot of talent. You can ask like, oh, who do you think is going to have more yards, blank or blank, and not bring up, our second round tight end from last year, our wide receiver one, Donnie Mitchell. It's pretty fascinating, and I think it's good. I think it's going to be Sadiq. I'm just so high on him. I think he's really going to be, I don't want to say like a George Kittle type guy, but like I think he's a freak. I think he's a freak, dude. You drafted him 16th overall. Like you expect him to be like Tyler Warren, like I don't want to say Brock Bowers.
Loveland.
I mean, he was the best tight end in the country last year.
Yeah. I mean, even think about like guys like Love. Like I feel like Warren kind of came on quicker. Loveland took a little bit, but by the end of the season, he was
he's a beast.
He's an animal. But yeah, I think I'm also just saying that to protect myself in a way where I'm just like, I think Sadiq's going to probably be good, but I don't want to just put my money on him that he's going to be, out in week 1 with 5 receptions with 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. So,
tight ends take a little bit longer. And I hate the portion. I don't hate the portion of Jets Twitter. They're good guys, but like, I hate the narrative that Mason Taylor stinks because he was 20 years old and had 44 led the team in catches, but I don't know what the beef is there. I don't understand. I think he's going to be pretty good. I don't get it. Bro, we got 40-year-old men in spaces go, I don't like him. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's just he played a role. Ages. Tight ends also take a little bit to come on in most cases. So the second part of Chris's question was, who would you not be surprised to see a receiver of 100 yards. I don't know if he was limiting it to rookies or the whole team, but I obviously am going to say Garrett Wilson. Like, I don't think there's many other guys outside of A.D. Mitchell that will have a chance at getting 100 yards in the first week.
I think the roles are going to be fascinating. I think you have Garrett be like the legitimate number one. You have, he can run all routes. You can put him wherever you want. You can flip him with Cooper in the slot. You could fucking flip him with Sadiq. Have Mason Taylor being in line. There's so much shit they could do. It's like fascinating. I think Garrett's like the jack of all trades, wide receiver one. Mitchell's going to be more that vertical guy. His speed is electric, and I think he's better down the field. Can we trust him yet? I don't know, but like all signs are pointing to him having like not a breakout year, but at least coming into his own a little bit. I really liked him as a prospect. Cooper going to be that slot guy, like we said, that can play on the outside. Mason Taylor, more that underneath tight end threat. You get it. I expect Mason Taylor to be like the 6 yard and and run 2 yards and get 8 yards type of guy. Like that's what I'm expecting him to do, and be like a red zone threat for in the middle of the field. Sadiq, I think, is going to be fascinating. How does he fit into all that? I don't know. I think it's just going to be them mixing and matching. Who goes for 100? I think it could be anybody I just named, but Mason Taylor. I think
that's fair.
And Mitchell, maybe. I feel like Mitchell's more like a three catches for like 60 yards, 80 yards type of guy.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know if you although I'm tempering my expectations with Sadiq, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out with just an animal. I just wouldn't.
Dude, that's what you drafted him to be. Like, he's running with the ones like right now. I think he
drafted 16 overall as a tight end. He should be, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's the one I was most excited for, despite my reaction. Him and Pons.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's super fair. Again, we said we wanted to keep it short. Now we're at minute 37 here, per usual. But just want to thank you guys for sticking with us here as we took a little bit of a break and now back for training camp and the start of the season. So any parting words from you, Tony, as I close out the show here?
I think, we got a lot off of our chest just now. I think this almost just served as a therapy session of me and Joey, just with microphones in front of us. We got into the future of the team, I think 13 minutes in, which is a ridiculous way, but man, authenticity is the best sometimes. So, we'll get a little more structured. We'll dial in, and I'm looking forward to get some of the answers that we were asking, with this usage. We're going to see more and more who's running with the ones, who's running with the twos. I want to see where David Bailey is at once the pads get on. So it's going to be fun, man. We're just going to get more and more information about a team that may have a lot of familiar faces on the roster, but we don't know anything. We don't know anything about their game plan or, any game management, anything about the coaching staff. It's going to be interesting.
Amen to that. You guys haven't heard me say this in a while, but go follow us on Twitter at First Class Pod. We're on YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, Apple, literally everywhere. So thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you next week. See you.